Hello everyone, and thank you again for being with us here at Partnership Realty. We have a special honored guest from Florida Realtors. Kaz Cisowski, it's good to see you.
Thank you.
Nice
Thank
to
you
have
for inviting me.
I understand you've got a phenomenal program called Sunstats that you're going to be going with us, and all the realtors that are watching this class as well too. And just give us a quick brief about you.
Well, basically, I've been in the real estate industry for over 40 years. I've been with Florida Realtors now going into my eight and a half years now. And then before that, I was also a realtor for 7 years over in the Broward County market area. So I'm very familiar with the real estate business. I also even worked as a representative of 3 MLS vendors. So I kind of got the experience.
Yeah, you're all rounded and you know a little bit about it. But listen, curiosity still has me. I see that you like coming over here to Partnership Realty. I see you like coming over here to is it really teaching our realtors, but what is it that really brings you here to Partnership Realties to do these classes? Be honest with us. We're not going to hold you to it.
Well, I mean,
what is it?
The reason why I came here, and I've come here every single time, it was basically coming for your chef's lunch.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he makes superb lunch. I mean, that's all I came here. I'm not worried about the members here. I'm more about the lunch. It was all about this.
Yeah, exactly. What did he make today?
Salmon, mashed potato, vegetables, and shrimp cocktail.
Can't wait to go over there. I see why you want to come here.
Yes.
Classes. All right.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're glad to have you. Okay, we're very honored to have you. Please, I'm going to turn this show right over to you.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Again, thank you very much for inviting me. I hope we're going to learn some pretty cool stuff. Sunstats basically is a member benefit that Florida Realtors provides. We've had this program now going into our 3rd year. And basically what this is a research tool. Now, one thing I do want to mention to you, everyone here, if you're following along too, I used to play an economist on TV, but in real life, I'm not. So if you ask me questions regarding any economic data that I'm going to show you here today, I am not going to be able to explain to you how we came up with that information. Write down this email address. It's research@floridarealtors.org. research@floridarealtors.org. Send them an email. They will be very happy to explain where they came up with the information. My purpose in this class is just to show you how to navigate, how to go from one place to another place to another place, offering you benefits that you have within here, okay? Now, before we actually go online, I'm gonna go over some brief background of how Sunstats has come about and what it's doing currently. Just to let you know, all of the data that you see here in Sunstats that I'm showing you here today all come from all of the MLSs in the state of Florida. So we get data feeds from them daily. And what they do is they put all of those data feeds into one single database. Now, the cool thing about what we do is, because you know, we have members who have listings and they put listings in more than one MLS. But what we do is we eliminate those duplicate listings and just keep the one that belongs to that specific area. So like here we're in Palm Beach County. So if you put a listing in this MLS and you put it in another MLS, that listing will disappear. This one will be the one that's going to stay. So that way the information that you're going to pull up is not going to be skewed. It's going to be pure data. So that's exactly what I like about the Sunstats program, is that it doesn't duplicate or does not include the duplicate information. Also, as you can see here on the slide, that closed sales in MLS are reported on the 15th day following the reporting period. So March statistics and Q1 statistics will be calculated on the night of the 15th. So it's usually going to be a month later. Also, I wanted to point out here too that statistics are done, you can do statistics by the month, by the quarter, or by the year. And these statistics will match similar to what you see at the NAR level. Okay, NAR does the entire country. Sunstats just does Florida. okay? But the same process occurs. And I'm going to show you, once we get off of these slides, where you can find the actual release schedule at FloridaRealtors.org. So I'll point that out to you in just a moment. Also, I want to let you know here, too, that we have other types of calculations here as well. Historical data. Here in Broward and Miami-Dade, you can go back up to January of 2013. Every place else, besides those two counties, you can go back up to January of 2009. So you have a lot of historical information. You also have the ability to get calculations by certain geographic area. For the whole state of Florida, metropolitan statistical areas. I don't know if you understand what that means. What that basically is that sometimes when you go and do a search, it has like 3 cities because they're all similar in commuting patterns and other things like that, that you'll also be able to do that. Counties. You can also get unincorporated municipalities as well as incorporated municipalities. Also zip codes. Now, I want you all to, before I leave this slide, I want you all not to think Sunstats as an MLS, because you're not going to be able to go and search by neighborhoods like you can in your MLS program. The lowest or the smallest geographic area that you're going to be able to go will be your zip code. That's the lowest geographic area you're going to be able to go into. And then we're going to also show you how you have different types of metrics that you can get calculations on. In other words, you're going to get closed sale information, new pending sale information, new listings, pending inventory, active inventory, month's supply of inventory, things like that. And then you'll also be able to get calculations on certain property types. The property types that are going to be in Sunstats are going to just be residential. There's no commercial property there because that's not something that they have in there. And if you go to NAR, that's the same thing as well. You'll also be able to get calculations on certain price tiers of property. And then sale types there as well. So we'll show you how to pull up that. Now the sale types, what we're talking about here are 3. You get foreclosure, short sale, and traditional. All right, so you'll be able to get calculations off of that. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get out of my PowerPoint, and we're going to go right into FloridaRealtors.org. That's where you have to go to work with Sunstats, because Sunstats is a member benefit through Florida Realtors. Now, if you've never, how many here have not gone to the Florida Realtors website, ever? Has anybody ever not gone there? Because it's very important. In order for you to go into Sunstats, you need to go in and create a username and password specific to FloridaRealtors.org. Your MLS ID and password for your MLS will not work, because this is proprietary, your MLS is proprietary, so you're not going to be able to use those codes. So how do I go in there and do that? Well, the way to do that is to click on Sunstats and then register for a password. Okay, that would be the way to go. And the way to register for your password is you're going to just type in your name, and then click on search. And then when I hit the drop down, there's my name. So I did find myself. Click on search, and then enter the email address that your membership system at your board has. Don't put like a Gmail that you never gave. All right, it's got to be the email address that we have at Florida Realtors. All right, otherwise you're not going to be able to move on with this. Then once you set this all up, then you just go ahead and register. But before that, I want to give you another bit of information and background. I think this is also going to be beneficial for you as well. What you're going to do is you're going to go to Tools and Research up on the main menu once you're in FloridaRealtors.org. I recommend that you go down here under Using Market Research. There's a link here that says 11 ways to use Sunstats. So when you click on that, this is, I think, something that you may want to go ahead and download as a PDF, put it on your partition wall or something, because this is going to show you how you can make most of this market data. This is not open to the general public. This is only for realtors and realtors only. So you're going to be the center of attention when it comes to providing this information. Just a couple of things I want to point out here. This is going to help you to anticipate market changes. This is also hopefully going to gain trust from your clients, because the information that you're pulling from is coming from where? From Florida Realtors. And to me, as a member of the general public, and you being the realtor helping me out, to me, that's a trusted source. Okay, it's not some fly-by-night company that's just giving me the information. But the cool thing about this, it's going to set you apart from the information found on the internet. But most importantly, since I'm here at your office and no one else in this association, because you're with Miami or Broward?
Beaches.
Beaches. Okay, so that's the Beaches MLS. So then I haven't gone and taught this in no other place except you guys. You're going to be the go-to realtor in this area. How about that? See, that's a great thing. So that's what you want. You want this to happen. And then last but not least, there's other things. You can go ahead and read through this. But most importantly here, this is also going to help you to set realistic list prices. Because sometimes you may have somebody who live in a neighborhood where on an average price is $500,000, and they want to list their property for $1 million. No way. And this is going to help show, sorry, ma'am or sir, you're not going to be able to sell it for that price. I don't care how many changes you've made to your property. This is what is going on in your neck of the woods. So this is just something that is good to know and have it available to you. One other thing I want to mention is under Tools and Research, there is the Research Release Schedule. It's under Research Reports, Research Release Schedule. And when you click on Tools and Research and Research Release Schedule, it's going to take you and give you the schedule of upcoming changes to the information, you know, how current the information is. In fact, we lucked out because when I taught at the convention last week, I taught on the 21st of August, which we then had June data. Well, I taught in the next day, August 22nd, and now we had the July. So the current metrics that we have available at this time, the current ones, is the July. Okay, we're always going to be 30 days behind the ball because obviously the month has not completed just yet. So we have to always go 15th day of the preceding month. So right now we are doing July market reports, and we're doing second quarter market report. So these two will work hand in hand for the rest of the session that we are here together. So that's something that you want. And then, of course, if you want to check out the National Association of Realtors release schedule, you can click on that, and they should be coinciding with the same dates that we have. So that's just for the entire country. Our schedule is just for Florida. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and go into Sunstats. So again, I'm going to go ahead and click on the Sunstats button. And then once I do that, it takes me directly here. So you're going to type in your username and password. Now, I would recommend that instead of you having to go through all of these steps every single time, create a shortcut on your phone or on your tablet once you're in Sunstats, because you're going to have your username and password already set. All you have to do is create a shortcut button on your home screen and go directly into Sunstats without going these extra steps. And if anybody needs help with that here, I will be happy to assist you setting that up. Okay? So now I'm going to click on the login button, and now it's going to take me to 3 elements that we have in the Sunstats program. We have the dashboard, chart builder, and infographic creator. But before we tackle these 3 modules, I want to go over and show you what you should do right off the bat. Has anybody here not used Sunstats? Okay, a bunch of us haven't. I recommend that you do this as soon as you get into Sunstats, is to go up to your settings. There's a settings button right up here. When you click on that, you're going to want to do 2 things. And I'm going to erase these cities, because I was doing this in another class last week. is this. It's always going to have Florida as your geographic area, the entire state of Florida. But you probably don't want just Florida, or maybe not want it at all. You probably want to go ahead and pull up the geographic areas in Sunstats that you would most frequently want to view. All right? So for example, let's say we want to do Palm Beach County. I could go ahead and click on Palm Beach County. How about we do Broward County, which is south of us? And we can do that. How about we do West Palm Beach? And when I do West Palm Beach, notice that the first thing that comes up is Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and West Palm Beach. That's that whole little geographic area that we call the Metropolitan Statistical Area, because those three cities have similar commuting patterns and other things other factors that would be included in there. Also, what I can do here too, if I typed in West Palm, I can also pull in just the city. Or I can select all certain zip codes in West Palm Beach. Remember, zip code is going to be the smallest geographic area that I'm able to retrieve. I can't go into a subdivision. I can't do oceanfront property because that's an MLS function, not a Sunstats function. The purpose of this is just to get statistical information. So let's say I want to go ahead and do West Palm Beach, the city. Then I'm going to do a couple more, and then that way you'll get an idea. How about I want to do West Palm Beach with a zip code. Let's say I want to do 401, 403, and 404. I mean, I'm just choosing them arbitrarily. And then one more area, I'm going to go ahead and do Fort Lauderdale. Whoops, Fort Lauderdale. And notice it comes up with Miami, Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach. Again, because it falls into that metropolitan statistical area. Or I can go ahead and do Fort Lauderdale, the zip code. But let's go ahead and do this one. All right, so basically these are the geographic areas that I most frequently would be looking at. Once I do that, you want to go ahead and hit Save Settings. And when you do that, I want you to notice something, what happened. This here was on the bottom, and now it's on top. When you click on the Save Settings after you selected your geographic area, it's going to sort from the largest geographic area to the smallest geographic area. So the largest geographic area here would be the metropolitan statistical area. The next largest would be the county, and then you have the city as well as the zip code. So that's the sort that those geographic areas will have. Now, what you also want to go ahead and do, and I don't know about you, but for me, it was always about me. All right? And I think this is also going to be about you too. It's about branding yourself. This we have here, you see my mouse moving across the screen here, that is your personalized branding banner. This is where you want to show your face, your contact information, and your logo to brand whatever you want to send to your customer. And like I said, it's always been about me when I was a realtor, and I think it should also be about you. So how do I get this to look something similar to this? Well, you can go ahead and import your information that we have at Florida Realtors, and it will automatically populate your screen, your fields here, or you can manually type in the information. So therefore, I just go ahead and type it in. Then when you scroll down, you go ahead and upload your picture, whatever picture you go with, a headshot or whatever, by clicking on Upload Photo, and then uploading the file, and then upload. And then if you have an electronic version of your company logo, I recommend that you do that as well. So that way, when you do upload all of that, your branding banner will have your picture, your contact information, and your company logo at all times. Because we're going to show you where that will appear in certain aspects of the program. And also, it says here, powered by Florida Realtors. What does that mean? To me, it's a trusted source. People are going to trust me with this information. Okay? So that would be the one thing I recommend that you do. So as soon as you do all of this stuff, and let's say you come back to Sunstats at a later time today or tomorrow, and it's going to automatically come up with a dashboard. And notice what the geographic area shows. The metropolitan statistical area, whatever the largest geographic area is in that list of geographic areas that you saved, that will show up all the time with that largest area. So let's go ahead and take a look at what you have. On the left-hand side, we have all of these metrics that are available to you that Sunstats contains. Now, if we have, I don't know if we have any new agents in here, but it doesn't matter if you're experienced or not, but if you're not sure what some of these things mean, you always can click on this little question mark and it's going to give you a definition of what that specific metric means. Because I know at first when I saw this, I asked, when I was doing the practice training, I asked, hey, is this the same thing as saying list price to sale price ratio? And they said, yeah. Well, then why didn't you put it that way? Why do you have to put it like this? But that's okay. This is my job security. All right, so that would be, these are the list of all of your metrics. Then you have the first column. This is the most current available statistical information. And this is the month, July 2024. The next one for August won't be until mid-September. Okay, so this is what we're working with today. And then the second column is the same month a year ago. And then the third column is giving you the percentage change from year to year. So the way I would look at it, in this metropolitan statistical area, notice that July 2023 closed sales was 3126. July 2024, 3313. So we went up 7 sales. So that means it's a positive 6%. But notice that the cash sales decreased 1,000 from a year ago to 976, making it negative 3.2. So you can kind of peruse through all of this and see certain areas in the state of Florida. Now, my interesting information is right over here. Notice now that July 2023, it took 22 days to go to contract. Now, a year later, it's taken almost a month, a little over a month. Same thing, that's the reason why you have a positive 41%. It should actually be a negative number, not a positive number, so it's going in the wrong direction. Same thing when it says median time to sale. It's over 14% because it took a little bit over 2 months. Now it's 2.5 months. So you can see the difference. But most importantly here too, very important, is that your month supply of inventory is 3 months a year ago. Now it's 4.5 months. So things have slowed down. People are not buying as quickly as they were a year ago, even 2 years ago. Because you know, we were hot and heavy before COVID. I mean, we were flying. So this is something that has changed, and especially maybe with what's been happening with the NAR settlement, maybe that might have some reflection on that too. But this is a snapshot. You can't change the information. The only thing you can change over here is the area. So let's say I'm going to change it from this area to, let's say, Palm Beach County, and then maybe change the property type. But those are the only two things you can do in this dashboard module. And then click on Apply, and now you'll see different numbers just for Palm Beach County, single family. And then you can see that that's how that's going. Now this here is kind of not as big, but the time to sale is taking longer in Palm Beach County as a whole. So that's kind of giving you an idea. And then of course, the month supply is basically the same thing. But you have, and then you have the fourth column here, which is your spark line. It shows you the trend from a year ago till a year ago, from July 2023 to July 2024. This is the trend, what we call the spark line, okay? Any questions on this particular page? Because that's all this is. This is just a snapshot, nothing else. Now, before I get out of this screen, I want to also mention to you here too that if you're doing this on your portable device, this is how it's going to look on your iPhone or Samsung Okay, that it works on both types of phones. Okay, I know we had a discussion about that before we came on. But here, notice that this is what's going to look like on your phone. And of course, you don't know what these buttons are, but if you hover over this, you can kind of see the trend and then also some other stuff here. But if I rotated this way, I can see dashboard, chart builder, infographic creator, and I can see this. Now, it does look I think a lot better if you happen to have a tablet, and I'm going to use an iPad Pro, and that's how it's going to look like that. So you're going to have some columns missing, but the important columns are showing up on your screen. And again, I can always rotate it, and I get to see the whole thing like I would see on my laptop computer. But this is all I'm going to talk about in the dashboard. The chart builder is where you go ahead and make your changes known, all right? You have 3 elements in the chart builder. One of them happens to be your filter panel. This is where you go ahead and change your geographic area, change your metric, change your property type, your reporting period, and so on. I'll discuss that in just a moment. Then you have the second element, which is your line chart, where you can take your mouse and see what the closed sales show up here. And then you have the third element, which is your data table, which works hand in hand with the line chart. So the numbers, like for example here, 3313, well, July 2024, 3313, and then the percentage change from July of 2023. All right, so that's what this is coming up with here. So these are your 3 elements. And I can go in here, as you choose a geographic area, you're also going to be able to see that geographic area highlighted on this map. So let's say I'm going to do Palm Beach, the city, West Palm Beach, the city. So there is the map of West Palm Beach. This is the area that it covers. And we're getting this all from the Office of Management and Budget. This is all coming from them. So this is exactly what you will see here. And again, with this, you can only select one geographic area at a time. But in just a little bit later on, I'm going to show you that you can actually do comparison of geographic areas, and I'll show you how to do that. But right now, I can only do one geographic area at a time. Every time you make a selection, whether it's this or anything else, always remember to hit the apply button. And then anytime you do that, you can see that the graph shows a little bit differently, and so does your table, okay? So that is something that is pretty cool to have. And I can always do that with any of the geographic area, one geographic area at a time. We also have the metric filter here. When you click on it, the default will always be on closed sales. But you can change this to be anything you want it to be. Maybe you heard that in West Palm Beach there has been a lot of cash sales. All right, so then we could click on cash sales and then click on apply. And there you go. So that's exactly how it's going to show. So this is the kind of information that arms you with what's going on in whatever geographic area really that you work in. And of course, I can change these metrics to be whatever I want it to be. Maybe find out what the average sale price is in West Palm Beach. And so you can see the price amounts on the left-hand side, and then you have on the horizontal axis, you have the months and the year. So you can actually go ahead and take a look at that, what the average price is there. We also have a property type filter. Notice that the default is set at single family. Let's say that you want to know how condos are doing in West Palm Beach. So then I can go ahead and click on townhomes and condos, hit apply, and here you're going to get what the average sale price is for condominiums in West Palm Beach. You could also change the metric to be, again, how about closed sales? How many closed sales have occurred in West Palm Beach? So you can see it's all over the map. Okay, it's crazy, all right? And I've seen a lot of that in different areas. This is not surprisingly, it's happening here in West Palm Beach. I taught in Orlando. I've taught in other parts of the state, very similar in nature. Just depends on the market area. The next thing we have the ability to do is, and I'm going to skip reporting period for a moment. I'm going to jump down to where it says date range. Notice that the date range is always going to be 24 months behind, from July back to 24 months or 2 years. So here you can see July 2022 to July 2024. But that doesn't mean you cannot change it, because you can. I always like to show this just to see how certain areas do. And I hate to use the date line on this, but I always like to know how sales were in a certain area before COVID, during COVID, and after COVID. How much of an effect was it? So I'm going to go ahead and change my date range. Let's do from 2018 January to July 2024. And once I do that, I'm going to hit apply. And you can see, look how crazy it is. Isn't that crazy? And this is just West Palm Beach. But COVID, when basically we were shut down for a few months, is from, I'm going to say March, which is right about here. So this is still high up there. But then when we get to April, and then when we get down to May, you can see it went down. Some places took it harder than other places took it, you know. So it just depends on your area. But then we did bounce back in June, because I guess at that time the governor opened up the state and considered realtors as essential. Okay, so then that started to bring things up a little bit, but then a lot also will have to determine, and you have to know why certain things have come down. Maybe it was the start of school, maybe it was the start of vacation, maybe the sales, you know, like the summer months, I don't know how it is over here, maybe it'll be slower, and then maybe once kids go back to school, maybe it'll pick up. Maybe during the holidays it'll pick up because people are coming and visiting Florida while it's cold up north. So you kind of have to know what your surroundings are and what's actually happening to cause some of these numbers to occur. Because I don't know, I'm not from this area. If I told you about Broward County, I can pretty much give you an idea, but I can't guarantee those are correct either. So you have to know what the economic conditions are that causes this to happen. Okay. Then, instead of doing this on a monthly basis, I could make this read quarterly. And that way maybe it will make more sense, and you can see that looks a little bit better. Compared to months, it's kind of like somebody's having a heart attack, okay? Okay, because it's just going that crazy. But that's, this is giving you a much bigger picture, better picture, and it's going to give you a pretty good idea why it's really slumping in quarter number 2. And I think most of us have seen some kind of slump, maybe not as bad as this. Some may have it differently. And of course, I could do it by the year as well. Okay, now, my favorite part of this is down here under advanced options. Because here, you can go ahead and search by certain price tiers. So for example, probably down here would be something I would do, is to search by a price tier of $1 million or more. Because I think that's just because that's how it is over here in this neck of the woods. So then I can go ahead and do that and do close sales and then hit apply. And that's going to tell me from $1 million up. So you can see that we had a spike up here and then it kind of dwindled down. But again, I don't know what the economic conditions prompted all of this to go take a quick spike up and then come back down. You all would know because you know the area much better than I do. So that's something that you can do. Now, I want you to notice something, that if I select a price tier level, the sale type, I cannot make any selections because Florida Realtors does not have any way of calculating a price tier for a specific sale type. Okay, so it's either going to be all sale types, all sale types and a certain price tier, or all price tier and a certain sale type. You see what I'm saying? Because you see that those also go gray too, because of the calculations that cannot be done. But that's, you can also search by traditional sale types in West Palm Beach. So I can do an apply, and therefore I will see West Palm Beach closed sales, condos, all price tiers, and they're all traditional. Now, if I go back to doing single family, I hit apply, and you get different numbers there. You see, so you can play around with a lot of these numbers here. But my most favorite part of the advanced options is the comparison. This is where you can actually do comparison of geographic area, metrics, sale types, you name it, you can do those kinds of comparisons. So once you hit the drop-down menu, these are the 5 items that you can go ahead and do comparisons with. My favorite one is geographic area. I'm going to click on the geographic area, and notice that what used to be a drop-down is now a square. That means I can do more than one selection. And the limit for what you can choose for comparison purposes is a total of 4 things. You cannot put any more than 4 geographic areas, 4 metrics, and things like that. So my favorite example of doing a geographic area comparison, and again, you could do your own, maybe you could do zip codes, maybe certain zip codes in this county or in this city. But my favorite one has always been comparing counties. So I'm going to do Broward, I'm going to do Palm Beach, I'm going to do Miami-Dade, and then we're going to do Martin. So I'm going to do Martin. So here, those are contiguous counties that are put together. And then I can go in here and say, okay, yeah, I want to do single families and I want to do closed sales. I like to know how many closed sales occur in each of those counties and compare them with each other. And then I also want to go ahead and keep the date range like it is. So all I'm going to go ahead and do is click on apply, and look at that, you got 4 comparisons. And the way you know what each of these are is if you take your mouse and you see where it says Broward, if I hover over this, you can see a little flashing blue there. Same thing with Palm Beach County. Martin County's on the bottom, and then Miami-Dade's right up there. And you can take your mouse and you can go ahead and hover each of these things here. But what you see on the line chart also shows up in the table, comparing side by side. Gives you the month, it gives you the counties, and it gives you the numbers. All right? Any questions so far on this? I think this is, cool stuff, in my opinion. Now, remember we created our personalized branding banner. Well, notice we have here that we have the ability to download stuff and put it on our computer and send it out to whoever we want to send it out to. The first one says download. When you click on the download button here, guess what it's going to give you? It's going to give me the chart. But remember what I said at the top of the session? It's all about me. I want my face over there. That way they can contact me. So this is not going to work. Now this might be a good thing to maybe put on a website, on your website, but I would not want to do that if I want to send this to someone. So I'm going to go ahead and close out of this, and I would recommend that you click on this button that says download with branding, because now there's your information. And it's also said that it's powered by Florida Realtors. All right? It's got your company name, it's got your picture, got your contact information, and it's got the information that you need. This is basically just a JPEG. It's a snapshot of what you just took. However, how many here know how to use Excel very well? Like a techie on that, right? Well, you can always take this information and download this to Excel. And when you do that, it comes across as a comma separated value or a .csv file. And then you can go ahead and highlight all of this, if you wish, and then hit Insert, and then do your chart, and you can select any of these chart here. I recommend that you don't use pies because the pies are so small and you have a big number of months. All right, so I would not do that. I would select either one of these or maybe one of these, hit OK, and there you go. And I can now change the increments of the months. I can also change the color of the areas. I can also change the incremental from, instead of it being every 1,000, maybe make it every 500. That's going to be totally up to you. And then change the name of the chart. So this is something that you can go ahead and automatically set up if you know how to do any of these things. But this is something that is a handy tool for you to use. Another thing I'm going to show you is that you can also compare by metric. Let's do one that's, how about property type? And I'm going to stay with those areas, West Palm Beach. But what I can go ahead and do is now select all of these property areas, because before each of those had a little circle with a dot, meaning you can only select one property at a time. Here, once I do the comparison and included the property type, they all became a rounded square, meaning I can make multiple selections. And then I'm going to hit the apply, and now you can compare all property types. These 3 columns will total the first column. So you'll know how many single-family homes there are, condos, and manufactured homes that were closed sales. And you can change that to be cash sales if you want to change that. So there's so many things you can do with the comparison. That's your choice that you can do there. And then we have the price tier and then sale type. So you can do a lot of these, but the maximum number of items you can put for each comparison you want to do is a total of 4. That is your limitation, okay? Are there any questions on the chart builder? Yes?
I don't think I can get this in an hour. Do you have like a longer session that you can do, like to really go through this thoroughly? Or is it recorded?
I have to find out. Yeah, I can give you a recording. It's not. I did a webinar for an office. I mean, if you don't care who's the office, I can forward that over to you, and that way you can look at it. So, like this weekend, I know you're going to be bored. You're not going to have anything to do, so you can watch the video then.
The market has changed, and
Sure.
we need this kind of stuff to be
Absolutely.
able to plan the listings that
Sure,
we want.
I agree. And what I'm also going to do here too is I'm going to forward to Ismael the we have what we call the Sunstats resource guide. I will also email that to you there too.
But the way this is recording, YouTube.
Oh, it's recording. Oh, okay. Then you can watch it there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you can see me stutter too many times. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So it's recorded anyway. So, but I still will forward you the research guide, and I'll forward that to Ismael, and that way he can forward it to you guys.
The other one you have is more detailed, and we would like that too.
It's going to be just as detailed as this.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, because there's not much I can say about the program. It's basically pretty self-explanatory. And when you look at the YouTube channel on this, you can just repeat this again and watch it and stop it and say, okay, let me try it, and then just follow along with it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm trying to, I don't want to talk too slow either, because then we don't want to make this a 3-hour class. But I also think that I think the way I'm doing it is pretty at a good pace, I think. So, and since it's recorded, I think that would be a great thing for you to look at.
Okay.
So just talk to the director here, and they'll be happy to.
Animal.
Okay. The last thing I want to talk about, and of course, is this, called Infographic Creator. Now, a lot of people, when I talked about this, they said, hey, how come you didn't show this first? Well, if I showed this first, I would lose the rest of the class if I wanted to talk about the other 2 things. So I decided to go ahead and talk about this here now so I can have a captive audience. So as you can see here, we have Miami, Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach, because that's the largest geographic area that I saved under my settings, right? So this is always going to happen. Now, I can change that geographic area to whatever area you think you want to do. So let's say you want to do West Palm Beach, and I can go ahead and change that, and now you're going to get different information here. You see that? So this is a pretty cool information. Now, this infographic creator shows you what is going on as of July 2024. But what you also want to take a look at is right over here for each section. It gives you like an up arrow and a certain percentage from a year ago. So you can see, okay, 85 closed sales in West Palm Beach in July 2024. Well, in July 2023, it was less, so it increased by 25%. You see where I'm going with this? So that's something that you can go ahead and do. Now, how many of us use Instagram to do your real estate, to show stuff? Well, as you can see here, if I wanted to take this and put this into Instagram, it's not going to show everything. It's going to get cut off because it's rectangle. Well, I have a solution for that. If you go over here under layout and click on square, you see how it changes? It changes so it could fit there. All right? So this is one thing you definitely want to do. So if you want to market this on Instagram, you definitely want to go ahead and put that into a square. But I'm going to go ahead and put the layout back into landscape so you can see the screen a little bit better. Notice also down here under template, we have one property type, which is single family. But I can compare single family and condos. So I can do dual, and I hit apply. So now I can do a report comparing single family homes, closed sale, median sale price, active inventory, compare that to townhomes and condos, the same thing, the same metric. However, I am not stuck with these metric that you see up on your screen here. I can go ahead and change my metric from closed sale, median sale price, and maybe do average sale price. And then I can compare both property types with those. You see that? So that way you can see what the dollar value is on an average sale price, median sale price, and closed sale. But if I go back to doing a one property type screen, I can go ahead and make 6 metric changes if I wanted to. So for example, let me see what I got. Closed sale, median sale price, average sale price. Dollar volume, I want to change the dollar volume, the new listings to be cash sales, and then maybe do cash sales as percentage of closed sales. And I can go ahead and hit apply there. And so therefore now I have what I want. See, I can stick with what I want. Now, a common question that I get from members is this: can we change the colors of this? And the answer to that is no. You're stuck with these colors, okay? So, but that usually is not that important. The colors, I don't think it's important. It's the data behind that. So I think that considering this is something that you can provide, and it's got my contact information, my picture, and my company logo. So you can change these metrics to whatever you want them to be. And then here you have the option to change your reporting. Right now it's set for monthly. So month is July 2024. A year ago was July 2023. I can go here and change that to year to date. And when I hit that, that's going to give you year to date from January 1st or January 2024 till July 2024, and then compare that same period a year ago. You see that? So this is like the first 7 months. And then a year ago, it was up. So it was lower a year ago, that same period. You see? Yes?
Is it always going to be a year, like in July, can I go like, let's say, April?
Well, this is going to give you, this is an infographic creator, which means you're not going to modify like we did in the chart builder. This is just a report that's just giving you the year to date. Or you can do the month, just like we did before. Yeah, see, you don't have no options to change anything else, but just the property type as well as this. Now, what you can also do is quarterly and hit apply. And the current complete quarter is quarter number 2, because quarter number 3 has not completed yet. That won't happen until October, okay? So right now, the current quarterly information that's complete is quarter number 2. And then, of course, you can also do an annual one. Now, what's the complete year that we just completed? 2023. We're not going to have 2024 until January of next year. But at least you can do an annual closed sale in West Palm Beach, and that's going to give it to you from a year ago, which would be 2022. You see? So here we're going to be working a little bit behind because the year of 2024 has not yet completed. But this is just as good there too. Maybe a tad out of date because of the year, but at least you can kind of see what's been happening, and you can present that to whomever you want to present this to. So this is something that you have. And of course, if you don't want to brand yourself, you can always undo that, meaning if I hit the apply, that means your information does not show up anywhere here, which I don't think you all want to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and include the branding and do that. And the cool thing about it, it works in conjunction with social media. So if I go into Facebook, there you go. I can go into my Facebook account. They still haven't changed this. It should show X, not Twitter, but it's going to take you to X anyway. LinkedIn, you can also email it to people. So if you have a way of sending it to some specific people, there you go. Or if you want to use your own email marketing program, you can actually download this to your computer and then email it to whoever you want. And when you email it, it's going to be this entire screen, what you see here. And of course, if you want to waste ink, you can always print it. Make 100 copies of it and give it to people by hand, which I don't think anybody would do that. I think the best way of doing that would be the email. Okay, so this is all Sunstats. This has been available for now, this is the 3rd year. And so this is something, and of course, they're going to be adding more to this. They are currently working on a 4th module, which is called Report Builder. And I believe if I go into Sunstats here, I'll show you exactly what it's supposed to do. I'm kind of fuzzy on that, but let me go into Sunstats. Okay, here we go, in the works. As Sunstats evolves, additional components like a report generator and a heat map. That's what they're going to do. Nice. That'd be nice to have a heat map, so that way instead of seeing information, you can actually see it on a map, different colors. I think that's a great thing. That's something that they are working. And of course, my suggestion would be, if you have any suggestions to this, I recommend that you send it to research@floridarealtors.org. Don't send it to me, because I'm not, all I'm just going to do is forward it to them, okay? But go ahead and do that, because anything that Florida Realtors does, whether it's Form Simplicity, MLS Advantage, eSign, Sunstats, it's all coming from the members. You guys are invested in everything that we do at Florida Realtors. Your comments and your suggestions make a big time impact on all of our products. So without yours, your impact, your comments and suggestions, these products would not be what they are today. That's just my take. So with that, I'll open it up to questions. Otherwise, we are done.
We're going to take pictures.
Yes, we're going to take that. I just didn't want to do that while we were recording. He'll edit that anyway, so that's okay. But if there are no other questions, we are done. Thank you very much for taking the time, and I hope you learned a lot. Thank you very much. And if we could take a picture, you guys can stay where you